What if everything you've heard about Meghan Markle's Hollywood comeback was just smoke and mirrors? What if the real story, the one they don't want you to know, has been hiding in plain sight? The media loves a good headline. Meghan Markle rejected from Captain America premiere. But is that the full story? What's the truth behind Anthony Mackie's shocking stand against her at one of the biggest events of the year? You've seen the headlines. You've heard the buzz. But have you wondered what's really going on behind the scenes? Meghan Markle, a global icon and former royal asset, has been trying to carve a new path in Hollywood. But it seems there's more to this rejection than meets the eye. Why did someone like Mackie, a seasoned actor, decide to block her from stepping onto that red carpet? What secrets are being kept from the public? Stick with me, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew. This isn't just another celebrity drama, it's a power play. And you won't believe who's pulling the strings. Stay tuned, because the truth is about to be uncovered. Have you ever wondered why Meghan Markle, once a beloved royal figure, faces such a controversial and failed return to Hollywood? The media paints a clear picture. Meghan attempts a comeback but is blocked by Anthony Mackie, the star of Captain America, Brave New World. It seems simple enough. An old star trying to regain the limelight, only to be shut out. But is it really that simple? Or is there a bigger story, hidden beneath the surface, that we're missing? The media quickly reported that Meghan Markle was not invited to the premiere, and the story seems to end there. But this is only part of the picture. Hollywood, an industry obsessed with image and relationships, doesn't just let anyone with fame stroll onto its red carpets. What has Meghan done to deserve an invite, other than her fading royal title? And why was Anthony Mackie so firm in blocking her from attending? One key thing to note, Meghan is no stranger to Hollywood. She was once an actress, famous for her role in Suits, but after marrying Prince Harry, she stepped away from the entertainment industry. Her departure from Hollywood to become a royal figure wasn't just a career change, it was a public shift in her identity. But since stepping back from royal duties, Meghan has tried to reclaim the spotlight with projects like her Spotify podcast and Netflix series. However, as much as the media highlighted her name, these ventures didn't deliver the success many expected. This failure made her return to Hollywood much more challenging. So, what's really happening behind the scenes? Meghan, a woman who's been through so much, now has to battle not only her image, but also her lack of real artistic projects. She is no longer the bright Hollywood star she once was. This becomes glaringly obvious when compared to someone like Anthony Mackie, who not only is a key face of Marvel, but has worked hard to carve out a space for himself in a competitive industry. Now, the question is, does Meghan truly understand that Hollywood isn't a playground where she can simply walk in because of her past fame? And if she does want to return, what does she have to do to prove herself? Could she and Harry think that their royal title alone will allow them to bypass all barriers? This is the big question. Is Hollywood truly ready to embrace a star who isn't bringing something tangible to the table? But don't rush to conclusions. There's more to this story than the media has revealed. The secrets they've kept from us will continue to shock you, and you'll be surprised by just how much more complicated this really is. But could this just be a convenient excuse to cover up the real reasons behind these decisions? And why exactly are people trying to shut Meghan out like this? Stay tuned as we uncover more in the next section, because the truth is far from being fully exposed. As we dig deeper into this story, the surface narrative is starting to crack. The media has been quick to paint a simple picture. Meghan Markle, a former royal, tries to re-enter Hollywood, but Anthony Mackie, an established actor in the Marvel franchise, blocks her from stepping onto the red carpet. But if we look closely, something doesn't quite add up. Why was Mackie, a seasoned professional, so insistent on preventing her from attending a premiere that, at first glance, seems like a harmless PR move? Could there be more at play here? Let's start by asking, what really is Meghan's role in Hollywood now? Her past is undeniable, her time in Suits, her high-profile marriage to Prince Harry, and her attempt to carve out a media empire post-royalty. But when was the last time she had a legitimate Hollywood project to her name? The truth is, her ventures since stepping away from the royal family have been underwhelming. Her podcast with Spotify fizzled out after just one season, and her Netflix projects failed to resonate with audiences or critics. So, why then? Would she think that stepping into a Captain America premiere would be the moment to rekindle her place in Hollywood? Now, let's examine this from a different angle. Hollywood is a tightly knit industry. A select few are allowed to sit at the table. An entry isn't based on old fame, it's about relevance, contribution, and, most importantly, respect. The lack of an actual project tied to Meghan's return suggests she's trying to use her royal status as leverage. But Hollywood, as we know, has evolved. It's no longer a place where mere notoriety guarantees you an invite to the highest profile events. Mackie, a man who has worked tirelessly to establish himself as the new face of the Captain America franchise, has earned his seat at this table. So, when someone like Meghan, who hasn't contributed to the industry in recent years, tries to waltz back in based on royalties, it rubs many people the wrong way. This isn't just about a film premiere. It's a statement from Hollywood. They've set boundaries, and Meghan Markle is clearly testing them. Her past actions, her exit from the royal family, her media ventures, and her very public persona have made her a divisive figure. Some view her as an icon of modern activism, while others see her as a woman desperately clinging to the limelight. In this case, Mackie's rejection of her presence at the Captain America premiere wasn't just a personal decision. It was a reminder that in Hollywood, you need to prove you belong, not just show up with a famous name. Think about it. Has anyone ever tried to force their way into Hollywood without earning it? Yes, and many have failed. Stars like Charlie Sheen or Lindsay Lohan were given numerous chances because of their past fame. But eventually, they too were shown the door when their contributions no longer measured up. Hollywood values hard work and dedication. If you don't have a solid project or meaningful work behind you, your fame alone won't keep you relevant. Meghan, despite her royal history, hasn't adapted to these new rules. She's acting like the same woman who left Hollywood years ago. But things have changed. So, let's ask, what does this mean for her future? Is she truly out of touch with what Hollywood expects? Or is this part of a bigger plan to rebrand herself yet again? And what role does Harry play in all this? Perhaps he's the one encouraging her to fight for these moments in the spotlight. But we have to wonder, does Harry really understand the current state of Hollywood? Or is he too blinded by their royal status, believing that the old rules of fame still apply? But there's something more. Something that's lurking just beneath the surface of this drama. As we move toward the next section, prepare for a revelation that will challenge everything you thought you knew about Meghan Markle's relationship with Hollywood. And maybe even about her connection to the media circus she's been unwilling to leave behind. The truth is far from over, and the next piece of the puzzle is about to shake things up even further. Now that we've established the glaring inconsistencies in Meghan Markle's Hollywood comeback attempt, let's dive deeper into the web of intrigue surrounding this incident. The media wants you to think this is simply a matter of a star being rejected from an event. But when we look beyond the surface, the situation becomes far more complex. What if the rejection wasn't just a personal matter between Meghan and Anthony Mackie, but a reflection of a much bigger, more strategic battle unfolding in the public eye? First, let's consider the timeline of events leading up to the Captain America premiere. Meghan attended the Invictus Games with Prince Harry, only to leave unexpectedly early. On the surface, it seemed like a minor scheduling conflict. But here's the thing. Why was the departure so sudden? And why was it kept so quiet? This wasn't just any public appearance. This was an event deeply tied to Harry's legacy and a cause they both championed. So, why would Meghan abruptly abandon it? Could it be that she had already set her sights on a more glamorous opportunity? One that would give her the media attention she desperately craves? In fact, there's more to this than just a quick flight from Vancouver to Los Angeles. This was a calculated move. Meghan's team had been working behind the scenes, trying to secure an invitation to the Captain America premiere. But here's where things get interesting. Despite being one of the most recognizable names globally, Meghan wasn't automatically granted access. In Hollywood, it's not just about fame, it's about who you know and, more importantly, what you bring to the table. Meghan's previous attempts to re-enter the industry had been underwhelming at best. Her Netflix documentary, which was heavily hyped, did not deliver the expected results. Likewise, her Spotify deal fizzled out. So, what makes her think that she could waltz back into Hollywood without the hard work behind her? Let's dig into some historical context. Celebrities who have stepped away from the limelight and tried to return often face backlash if they haven't remained relevant. Take the case of Britney Spears. After years of personal struggles, her career comeback was closely scrutinized by the public and the industry. Hollywood didn't just hand her back her spotlight. It required proof of her talent, professionalism, and reliability. This is something Meghan failed to understand. Hollywood isn't a charity, it's a business. And Meghan's status alone can't buy her a seat at the table anymore. Now, let's turn our attention to the key player here, Anthony Mackie. His stance on blocking Meghan wasn't just about his own preferences. It was about preserving the integrity of the event and the industry itself. Mackie, who has worked tirelessly to climb the ranks of Hollywood, understands that the industry is about more than just appearances. His refusal to let Meghan take the spotlight at the Captain America premiere sends a clear message. If you're not contributing to the project, don't hijack the moment. His rejection wasn't personal, it was professional. It's a reminder that in Hollywood, the value of an individual is measured by their work, not by their ability to make headlines. But here's the twist that many didn't see coming. Despite the media frenzy surrounding this incident, the most important takeaway here is not just about Meghan being denied entry into the event. It's about the shifting dynamics of celebrity influence in Hollywood. No longer can stars expect doors to open just because they've been famous in the past. The industry has evolved, and it's sending a strong message to those like Meghan who, despite her global recognition, has failed to prove her worth in this new, merit-based landscape. And let's not forget about Harry's role in all of this. While Meghan may be the one making the headlines, it's clear that her decisions are heavily influenced by him. Could Harry, who has struggled with his own relationship with the media, be pushing Meghan further into the spotlight, believing that their royal connections will grant them access? Or perhaps, is he unaware of just how much the game has changed in Hollywood? As we approach the climax of this saga, one thing becomes clear. Meghan Markle's attempt to re-enter Hollywood was doomed from the start. The deeper we dig, the more it becomes apparent that her comeback isn't just a personal challenge. It's a battle with an industry that no longer operates by the rules she once played by. But here's the twist, the real shocker. What if this rejection is part of a bigger plan? One that's been strategically crafted by Harry and Meghan themselves to keep their names in the press? What if this entire Hollywood rejection is nothing more than a well-executed PR stunt designed to keep them relevant? Stay tuned, because the truth behind this move may be more calculated than you think. And it's about to get even more intriguing as we move toward the final part of this story. Now that we've peeled back the layers of Meghan Markle's Hollywood return, we have to ask, what's the true motive behind this entire spectacle? Was it just an isolated incident? Or is there something far deeper at play? Anthony Mackie's rejection of Meghan at the Captain America Brave New World premiere isn't just about a celebrity being turned away. It's a larger commentary on power, relevance, and the ongoing battle for control in the entertainment industry. Let's start by considering the timing of Meghan's actions. Her sudden departure from the Invictus Games and her rush to Los Angeles didn't happen by accident. We can't ignore the possibility that this was all planned, with the premiere serving as a stepping stone in Meghan's calculated re-entry into Hollywood. But why? After years of silence in the entertainment world, did she think that attending a Marvel blockbuster premiere was the way back into the spotlight? Is this the best strategy for someone who has faced multiple failed projects? Or is there something more? Could this entire drama be part of a broader strategy designed to maintain its media relevance? Now, let's dive into the idea that there are hidden forces orchestrating this whole situation. Could it be that Harry and Meghan are using these public rejections and controversies to keep their names in the media? After all, we've seen them do it before. The couple has strategically placed themselves in the public eye, leveraging their royal exit to make headlines. Could this rejection from Hollywood, which Meghan and Harry knew would capture the public's attention, be a well-executed PR stunt aimed at stirring up a media frenzy? The timing of this entire situation raises serious questions. What if Meghan and Harry deliberately pushed for this rejection, knowing that it would keep them in the news cycle and fuel more public discussion about their status? But the question remains, why is Hollywood resisting? Historically, Hollywood has always been a place for reinvention. We've seen numerous celebrities rebrand themselves after years of absence or scandal. Look at Robert Downey Jr., for instance. He spent years battling personal demons, but through hard work and perseverance, he clawed his way back to the top. But in Meghan's case, her path to redemption isn't through sheer effort or talent, it's through name recognition and strategic media maneuvers. And that's where Hollywood draws the line. There are boundaries in the industry that can't be crossed simply by fame alone. Could it be that the real issue here is not about Meghan herself, but about the shifting power dynamics in Hollywood? The industry no longer operates as it once did. The days when a famous name could open all doors are gone. Hollywood now demands more than just recognition. It demands results. So, why should a former actress, with no recent work to her name, be allowed to step into the limelight of one of the biggest film franchises in the world? That's where Mackie's firm rejection comes in. His stance wasn't just about protecting the integrity of the premiere, it was about protecting the integrity of the industry itself. As we move closer to the conclusion of this saga, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, Harry's role in all of this. Is he really aware of how far out of touch they are with Hollywood's new rules? Meghan, no doubt, has a desire to remain relevant. But is Harry pushing her into these situations, expecting that their royal history will somehow grant them automatic access? The truth is that Hollywood is no longer impressed by titles or past glory. It's about what you're doing now, and Meghan, despite all her fame, doesn't seem to grasp this new reality. But here's the twist, the real shocker. What if this whole situation was carefully orchestrated by Harry and Meghan, not just to test the boundaries of Hollywood, but to expose the limits of their own influence? Could they be using the rejection as a way to ignite public outrage and sympathy, positioning themselves as victims of an industry that once embraced them?
The entire Hollywood rejection could be the very thing that propels them to the forefront of media discussions once again.
It's a calculated move, and it's working, because here we are, talking about it. In the final analysis, this entire drama is far from over. Meghan Markle's Hollywood rejection may not just be about the event itself. It may be part of a larger strategy to maintain control over the media narrative and stay relevant in a rapidly changing industry. Hollywood has spoken, and it's clear that simply being famous isn't enough to guarantee a spot at the top. But will Meghan and Harry adapt, or will they continue pushing against an industry that's moved on without them? Time will tell. But one thing is certain. This isn't the last we'll hear of their attempts to break back into the spotlight. The question now is, what's next for them? And how far will they go to stay in the public eye? So, what have we uncovered so far? Meghan Markle's attempt to step back into Hollywood wasn't just about a star making a simple appearance. It was a calculated move wrapped in layers of strategy, media manipulation, and perhaps even a touch of desperation. We've seen how Hollywood's new rules are leaving her, and Harry by extension, struggling to find their place in a world that values substance over fame alone. And yet, as we've seen with Anthony Mackie's firm rejection, it's clear that Hollywood is drawing a hard line: name recognition and royals. Status won't get you far if you're not actively contributing to the industry. But let's not rush to any final conclusions.
The real question here isn't whether Meghan was wronged. It's about how far
Hollywood has shifted and whether figures like Meghan and Harry can adapt to this new world. Could this public rejection have been orchestrated for the exact reason we're all talking about it right now? Could it be a clever play to gain more media attention, positioning them as underdogs against a system that once embraced them? Or are they truly out of touch with the current landscape? The reality is, the story is far from over.
This rejection might be just the beginning of an ongoing narrative that will continue to unfold before our eyes.
Will Meghan and Harry try to regain Hollywood's favor? Will they find a new path forward? Or will they be left behind in a world that no longer values their royal titles?
What do you think?
Is this a case of Hollywood protecting its own? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's get the conversation started. And if you don't want to miss out on the next chapter of this unfolding saga, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. This is just the beginning, and you won't want to miss what comes next.